The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. In the year of our Lord 1197, 5 Canaanites were sent to the lands beyond the forest to serve those who ruled Transylvania. With their diplomacy, they were granted a city to rule as they see fit. With their strength, they solidified control and protected their domain from invaders. With their knowledge, they ruled for 2 centuries of relative Canaanite peace. But they cannot stop the prophecies, for the ancient war, all but forgotten, stirs afresh. And those whom you have cursed to save yourself shall break free of their bonds at last. Welcome to the Transylvania Chronicles. Welcome to our Vampire Dark Ages stream. We here at McStabber Studios understand that some of the subjects that come up during this chronicle are problematic by modern standards. Our goal is to handle these kinds of situations in a manner that does not directly or indirectly glorify these kinds of actions. While we understand that we are playing in a world of monsters, that does not mean we must be the monsters ourselves. Please also be aware, none of our cast are experts in history. That means there will be some deviations between the real world timeline and the vampiric world. You can go ahead and chalk that up to the Canaanite influence on the mortals around them. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our story. And I got your cult right here. Don't worry. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to McStabber Studios' Vampire Dark Ages Glimpses of History. I am, of course, the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and tonight I'll be playing Saint Olga of Kiev of Clan La Sombra, and I ooze with charisma.
I don't ooze with charisma, but I'm Junie Von Esch playing Peregrine McSullivan of Clan Essamite, and I rather talk with my blades.
Hi, I'm Vito Spock. I'm playing Yves Marchand of Clan Toreador. I mean, I guess I should be charismatic, but, you know.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I will be playing Snatcher of Clan Nosferatu, and I have to have charisma because I definitely don't got looks.
Hi, everybody. I am the Ravnos Archon, and I get to play Agustin de la Cruz, and if I'm oozing anywhere, it is a bad day for somebody else.
Hey, if you're oozing, get some penicillin shots, I'm just going to say. Damn, I got a whole cast of fucking jokers with the charisma tonight. I obviously don't have any. I'm the storyteller. No fun allowed, no charisma allowed. I am here to stifle their fun, because last episode I made them meet with Mankata, or at least Augustine and Olga. And he was a right bastard. On the plus side, they did get to meet with Montano, who is quite a bit better. While the rest of the group, they got to find out about, some Inquisition burning one of the little farming, you can't call it a village. The farmers along the shore. We'll just put it that way. And of course, to avoid a blood bond or strengthening their blood bond, Olga and Augustine agreed to head over to Nova Arpad's town of Medish to do something for her that they don't know yet. Of course, they'd set out on this trip to do so, where they met a very odd Malkavian, a brother Twitch, that I'm sure will pop up in the story eventually again. But as we're opening up tonight, your journey has come to, well, you knew when you went and slept during the day that you would awake on the outskirts of her town, Medish actually city. And so with the setting of the sun, you have woken. And you know where you have to go, but I'm sure you might want to discuss something, maybe, before you go up and just walk up to her mansion.
I will take lead with her. I've had dealings with her on the council.
We should announce ourselves, yes?
Oh, of course. Of course. We will go to her mansion, announce ourselves, and announce that we are here representing our sire for the favor that he owes.
This is very familiar territory that we are dancing in.
Indeed. But of course, if she speaks to you all, do speak. If I can give you any advice, try not to take her attitude too personally. She treats everyone that way.
So don't read her like the books I would love to have read in Alexandria before I burned.
Not at least until we repay the favor. Otherwise,
Okay, then
we do
afterwards.
afterwards, perhaps.
Okay. I'm good with this.
Has she expressed any distaste or dislike for us on the grounds of when, and Snatcher will very obviously look towards Olga for this one, when a certain member of her line was taken care of?
Not a word. I know she's aware, though.
Probably means that it wasn't actually that much of a loss to them.
Or if it was, she doesn't want to give away that tell.
I just wouldn't mention it, I guess.
No, of course not.
No. She definitely received the gift.
Why bring up death when it's a simple business meeting?
It is it? Because what did your sire contract her to do?
We have no idea.
Of course, he didn't tell you.
Of course not.
No.
The last time a favor was called in towards any of us, we had to escort Goratrix.
Exactly. Let us hope
Oh.
it is not as unpleasant as that.
It's
Or at
always
the very
going to be
least-
unpleasant.
Or at the very least, no more unpleasant than that.
Yes.
Watch
And-
where your eyes are, by the way. This is a Ventru.
Yes.
Cheeks, tips of noses, no eye contact. Forehead.
Always
The
right
eyebrows.
here.
Right there.
It makes them think you're looking into their eyes, but you're not.
And Eve, don't worry. We will share the story of our time with Goratrix at some point.
I was about to ask.
We
That's-
don't have time for that tale, but on the travel
Right.
back, we will tell you. All right, let us go make our announcement that we are here.
So as you're moving up towards her mansion, which happens to be on the southern side of the city,
Mm-hmm.
it is a full city. It is a city almost as large as yours now. Doesn't have the same amount of river trade that you have, so it doesn't have all the benefits you have, but it has its fair amount of trade. And as you're coming through the outskirt villages, and actually it's not even a village, it's more of a full-size town that's outside the city walls, you find yourself standing in front of one of the inns within sight of her mansion when you notice that in front of the doors to her mansion seems to be a young man with blonde hair, obviously a peasant, but his clothes are a cut above what all the other peasants wear. And you see him standing there as guards begin to move towards him. And then he screams out, "This mockery of justice and rulership has gone on for far too long. These lords of the lands must cease these depredations upon us. We break our backs and give our lifeblood for their pleasure, and our wives, sisters, and daughters are sacrificed on their altar of their insatiable and unholy lusts. It's time for us to stand together." And as he says this, you notice the guards make a move on him, and he bolts right towards you all. He might be trying to jump get into the inn, but he's definitely running right towards you all with the guards in pursuit.
What do you think? Intervene? Snatcher will just say to the general group.
When have we not?
Then, storyteller, I'm going to hide myself real quick.
Okay, you're going to have to do a roll for that because you're in plain view of a lot of people.
Certainly. I also am, technically, I only want it to succeed on this guy. Everyone else can still see me all they want.
It is an intelligence stealth roll.
Are we blocking the door to the...
Yeah, you're standing right in front of it.
Okay.
So he'll have to go through you if he wants to get into the inn.
Excellent.
I'm guessing standard difficulty.
Yep.
That's 6 successes.
Well, you rolled more than 3. Actually, I got to roll to resist it, but it's based on the highest in the area. Let's see. Okay. We'll see.
Okay. And then I'll do my best to maneuver so that when he gets close enough, I can trip him.
Okay. What is everybody else doing? Olga
I'm going to
is
maneuver to try and catch him.
going to try to catch him.
Yep.
Olga, you can give me intelligence heraldry. If you have heraldry. If anyone else has heraldry or wants to, I mean,
Where the
Yeah.
fuck is heraldry?
I don't see that.
it is a, well, I guess you don't have it then.
No.
You can go intelligence politics.
And the fuck did we get ice cream?
I don't have intelligence. I don't have politics, so no, I'm not rolling shit.
Okay. If anyone else wishes to roll,
No.
I have
It's up to you.
all, but
no, that
Yeah.
wouldn't be the same for this.
I have a single dot in politics.
You can roll it.
Intelligence of politics. Yep.
Sure, why not?
Diff
I-
is 6.
Yeah, difficulty 6.
failure, no successes at all.
The political thief. Who'd have thunk?
2.
You got to know who not to steal from.
It
Touche.
looks like the crest on these guards that are coming for the peasant are the RPAD personal guard, not the city watch.
The personal guard of the chick we got to meet.
Yeah.
She'll tell that to Olga. She'll go, do I open the door and let them get away? Or
No.
are we capturing him?
no. This is her city. And I believe those are her guards?
Yes,
Mm.
they are her guards.
Yeah, it's her business to take care of.
She will happily step away and move aside. As if, no touchy.
So as he goes bolting towards the door, Snatcher, you're maneuvering to block his way?
I trip him.
Trip him.
I was
So
moving to kind of catch him.
Technically, only my leg is blocking him, but I'm doing it hopefully that he won't see me until he's, can't really move out of the trip.
Well, he wouldn't see you until he hit it if he failed to
Mhm.
notice your vanish trick.
Yeah, but
Oh.
in case he didn't.
He manages to hit your leg, stumble, and fall right into Augustine's arms.
And then I will just head back to the group, knowing that Augustine has it handled.
As the
Oh, it's a
soldiers
happy
run up,
couple.
they eyeball Augustine and look at the rest of your group. Lords, ladies,
I believe this is yours.
thank you. This is one of the damn troublemakers around here. Everybody give me perception alertness. Difficulty is 8.
That is
Okay.
my bread and butter.
Does detect weakness come into effect?
No, not for this one.
Nothing.
Nothing.
How about farsighted?
No.
Farsighted? Yes, I'll let you use farsighted.
No
Eyes in the
watches,
back
but
of my
nothing.
head.
Olga,
Eyes in the back of your head is paranoia, so yes,
Yeah,
I'll
that's-
let you use that.
Okay. And what was
No
the diff again?
successes.
Sorry.
8.
I'm going to use a willpower, and that's going to be 3.
Okay.
And then 10s are 2 for this, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, then
No.
I have
Woo.
3 successes.
3
No,
and 3.
I'll use a willpower
Eve's
point.
got 4.
Eve's got 4.
Mm.
Eves, you notice in the mansion, there
just
is a woman half hidden in the shadows watching out the window, watching what's going on in front of her mansion right now. Long, gorgeous black hair. But she seems to be just hanging back enough to have made it difficult to see, but you still managed to catch sight of her as she watched as the guards grab this peasant, club him a few times, knocks him unconscious, and then begins to drag him towards the mansion.
I believe our host is possibly testing us.
Mm.
I'll lean over to Peregrine. Was that one of us, or was that just a mortal causing trouble?
Mortal causing trouble.
You saw it.
The person, him or the up there?
No, the person they just beat.
Yes, that is pretty much a mortal, I believe.
I
Sure
ask
do.
because you are the one that in our group can tell us who is who.
I'm going to read aura.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Okay.
Actually do the same.
Both of you can read aura.
Perception, empathy.
Break it out.
Hey, that'll
That's-
also.
Minute.
Is that only on specific people, or can
Perception.
it be like a visual range?
It's hard to read them in a visual range because they start to
Blend together.
blend together.
Yeah,
Makes it much more difficult to read.
standard difficulty.
Yep.
2.
A second.
Actually, no, it's difficulty 8.
It's 8.
Ow.
Oh,
Got a 3.
So how many did you get? Let me see.
I got 1.
1.
Not with 2 1s, you didn't.
No, yeah, I just saw that.
Yep.
No, you got
Uh,
10, 10, 8. No, that's a different one. Never mind. Looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, he got 0.
Got 0.
Actually, that would be a botch, wouldn't it? 2 1s and 1 6.
No, he'd have to get no successes,
No
and
successes
and
and
more
ones.
ones.
Okay, got you.
Would you get Gwen? 3?
3.
Okay, I will tell you his aura is bright, so he is immortal. His right before he was knocked unconscious, his aura was a combination of pink and I gotta find the other one. Pink and orange.
What are the color? What are the emotions for that?
It's actually in the right in the sheet, but it's compassionate and afraid.
She'll kind of lean over to Augustine and go, no, he's very much immortal. He's compassionate and afraid. At least that's what he was feeling before he got knocked out.
Okay. I was hoping that this was one of the anarchs that they have been talking about.
Sadly, no, he still draws breath.
Olga's going to look to their guards and tell them to secure rooms at the inn while we head over to the mansion.
And as you head up to the mansion, the guards take the peasant that they knocked out in, and a tall, very skeletally thin old man comes out. Now this one, he's wearing emblazoned quite largely the Arpad heraldry as he immediately walks over to your group and he bows, a very low bow. Lords and ladies, the mistress has arranged a private meeting with you all. If you are tired, we will make sure the sustenance is provided so you can feed. But please follow me.
Thank you. And Olga takes lead and goes in.
And as he leads you into this mansion, there's a lot of wealth when you step inside.
Mhm.
A lot of artwork, a lot of, furniture that you recognize not being from this region. She seems to have imported stuff from Spain, from London, from Rome. I mean, there's a little bit of everything in her collection. But you're led over to a small side room It's got a number of books on the walls. And he bows to you. Would you like me to bring food?
I am satiated.
As am I.
I am, but thank you.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Very well. Mistress will be here shortly to speak with you, lords and ladies.
Thank you.
And he bows again and exits the room.
He's proper, that's for sure.
And do you recognize these books?
Do you recognize their works from outside?
I will tell you, Gwen, that her book collection, it's decent, but you don't see any of the rare or anything that denotes she's a great scholar. It looks like a standard collection of somebody who doesn't know what they're collecting.
Yeah. I have 4 copies of this. I have 10 copies of that. This is all show. This is no great library, sadly.
Do I see anything not made of paper and binding, storyteller, that might denote value? Not going to take anything. I'm just curious to see if she has.
I mean, the
Something
bindings
in
on
your
almost
pocket?
all of them would be made of leather. In this era, you
okay.
didn't make cloth paper bindings because,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it would all be leather bound.
How about paintings?
Her painting collection is rather impressive. That as you saw walking through, and there's even a couple in here. Some of them have great value. Some, it's obviously somebody very skilled, but you don't recognize who did it. But it also covers a wide range of regions.
I'm going to pull one of the books and see if there's like a layer of dust on it, just to see if this is like, does it see use or is it just for show?
The book you pull down does have a bit of dust on top of it. It's clear it's dusted often, but whoever dusts them doesn't pull the book out to get the dust off the top of the pages.
Mm-hmm.
So while the spine is dusted and somebody's obviously dusted over it, they didn't pull it out, so it hasn't been pulled free often.
The details always catch them out, doesn't it, brother?
Yes, and put it right back. I wonder if you can read all these books. Gwen, you can, yes?
Of course I can. I may have written some of these.
Oh.
Going back to the paintings, I know that she's part of the Council of Ashes, but I want to see how well traveled she is, and I know these are probably imported. So how much connections from where? Maybe I can get an idea of if I recognize any of these places from my own travels.
Every major city in
Major
Western
city.
Europe is represented somewhere. Even cities along North Africa and those areas.
Huh.
And you hear the door open. You can hear her coming down the hall long before the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
And when it opens, a attractive woman, long black hair. She's got blue eyes that are as blue and as cold as ice. She's wearing rather expensive noble's garb. And when she walks in, good evening.
Good evening, Nova Arpad.
You are technically in my city. Wouldn't it be fair to refer to me as Prince?
Is that what you deign yourself?
Well, I am Prince of this city.
Well then, Prince Arpad, good evening. We have come to visit with you this evening because the sire of myself and Augustine has requested that we represent him in repaying a favor owed to you.
Yes. Linkata said you would be coming. Told me to expect you soon. Understand, you'll be serving the elders of this land if you assist me in a very minor endeavor I have in mind. Some treasured jewelry of mine has been stolen, and I wish it and the thief brought to me so that I can repay his audacity.
Hmm.
I look at Snatcher.
Yeah, I'm like trying to not side eye the Snatcher.
Snatcher is purposefully not making eye contact with any of his coterie.
Yes.
Brian just keeps looking straight at the van. Yeah, it's natural.
I believe that we have someone in our coterie that is skilled at finding thieves and dealing with them.
Well, these should not be hard to find. You see, not a week ago, a group of Egyptites, or Romani as they call themselves, passed through here. And I believe one of their number broke into my treasury and stole several of my more valuable items. I have a
Again,
list of what is missing.
A slow glance at Snatcher.
I fully expect them to have sold or traded some of them by now. But one piece in particular is rather important to me. It's an ancient relic that I really don't want to lose. It is a gold pictorial. It's formed from linked tablets inscribed with various symbols. It was a gift from my sire, who has passed it down from his and from his. You understand. I don't know where it came from, but it has been in my family for a long time.
Hmm.
So the favor I need is rather simple. Travel to the camp of the Turinu Romani, retrieve any of my missing jewelry, find the thief, obviously. And I will reward you for your success and consider this debt paid. They left several days ago, but it shouldn't be hard to find. They were heading off to the town of Hermannstadt,
Hmm.
which is south of here.
Yes. We will do this, as our sire does owe you the favor.
I guessed you would. I could see by your approval of my disciplinary measures with unruly peasants that you understand justice and duty.
It is your city to rule as you wish.
That is true. That is true. And she pulls a piece of paper out and hands it to you.
Olga takes it.
And the piece of paper is just a list of what was taken. A gold pictorial formed from linked tablets, 2 heavy gold bracelets etched with leaf designs, a pair of earrings triangular in shape with gemstones and gold scroll work, and an oval brooch set with a large polished amber.
She passes the list to Snatcher.
Storyteller, could I know I'm not like the best fence or anything like that, but could I sort of estimate just from description of a base of value that these might run for?
I mean, a golden pictorial would be rather large.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking a big piece of gold.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's that much gold, that's worth a decent amount.
Yeah.
And
2
then the
heavy
rest
gold
is
bracelets, which means they're heavy gold.
Big
Yeah.
bracelets.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost
Thick.
bracers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so there is a decent chunk of money attached to the descriptions of these paper
Mhm.
of this paper. Okay.
I am curious how they were able to get into your vault, Prince Arpad.
So am I. Which is why I would like the thief brought to me.
Hmm.
I wish to question them, and of course, once I'm done questioning them, I will administer proper justice.
I'm sure you will.
Speaking of, would you like to watch the disciplinary action tonight of the peasant that was causing trouble out front?
I personally would enjoy it.
Very good. Would the rest of you?
Beg pardon, but with your permission, Prince Arpad, may I see this vault, the location that was stolen from?
No, of course. I will have my servant take you to it.
With your permission, Principe Arpad, I would like to meet with the guards that were supposed to be guarding this vault of yours. Wish to take the measure of each man.
I would. I'll let you meet them. But they are dead. They were poisoned.
Oh,
So that is how they got into your
that
vault.
is exactly how they got into the vault.
The men who were supposed to be guarding the door. I believe it looked like it was their wine.
Of course it was.
I believe I definitely wish to see this location now.
Were they
Okay.
ghouls of yours?
Not all of my guards were ghouls, but as I recall from that night, one was and one was not.
Mm.
And both poisoned.
Yes.
And one didn't recover as a ghoul.
No.
That is curious.
Are both bodies still around?
They are in the ground where we buried them.
Pity.
Would you mind us
This was
unburying them?
almost a week ago, I'm sure.
Hmm.
If you wish to dig them up, that is your right. I don't have an issue with that.
It is your city, Prince Harpad. Please.
Well,
It is not for anything untoward.
I don't
It's
see
simply
it.
to investigate.
I don't see it causing a problem.
Very well. I will take Peregrine with me then. I think
Perfect.
you understand where I was asking about.
I completely understand your logic. No problem.
Master Marchand, would you like to accompany Snatcher to the vault to see if maybe your eyes see something?
Very much so. I'm curious to see.
Excellent. Then,
We should have much to look for.
Prince Arpad, I'd be happy to accompany you as you dispense your justice.
Very well, Prince Olga, come with me. And she hangs her arm out so you can
And I
take her arm. A servant comes and she talks to him briefly as they're leaving. And he goes over and gets a guard to take Augustine and Snatcher down, or take Snatcher and Eve down to the vault, while he goes and takes Augustine and Gwen to where they buried the guy. So we'll come back to Olga. Let's go with Snatcher and Eve. You're taken deeper into the mansion, led down a series of stairs into an underground section. And in that underground section is where you find there's a large door with a heavy lock on it. There's 2 guards outside the door now. Her items, this is where she keeps her most important items.
Before anything, I'm going to just step up and examine the lock.
Okay. For this age, it is a rather impressive lock.
All right.
It can be picked, but it would take somebody of a pretty good skill to do it.
Okay. And I'm guessing they're not going to let me into it, even if I'm investigating a theft. Does it look like they're going? Does it look like they're going to open the doors or anything like that?
Nobody produces a key for sure.
Okay.
The guards were found here, and the 2 guards, there's stools for them to sit on. The wine cups were found next to them where they had spilled.
I'm going to look to one of the guards who's like next to one of the stools. May I?
You want my stool?
Just for a moment.
And he stands up. He kind of looks at the guard that's with you, and he kind of seems doesn't know what you're doing, but
and I'm going to take a seat on it and see if I notice any ghosts.
Okay.
They were poisoned. That's not exactly a peaceful
perception. I don't know. Perception awareness, actually, because that's awareness is for supernatural.
It's my character she's trying to hide from me. Sorry. Awareness or alertness, they're the same role.
Yeah, but they're 2 different functions.
I'm actually interested in the lock, as I was letting him look at it first, and then I want to see Spirit's Touch. See who else has been besides anyone with the same description as the
Interesting.
guards.
Okay, that's a good use of that. I like
That's
that.
also 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, let me get your Eve's roll here for Spirit's Touch.
The perception, empathy.
Perception, empathy. Yep. The difficulty on this is going to be, you may not have touched it directly. I'm going to give you a difficulty of 7 because it was about a week ago. I'll give you a 7.
Thieves and Snatchers, the buddy cop movie we all deserve.
Yeah, that we didn't even realize would be a well-written script, huh?
2.
2 successes. As you touch it with Spirit's Touch. Just double checking here. You get a vague. There was a person here for sure, but there's something off about them. Their appearance doesn't match what the residue they left behind.
Really?
They don't seem to be, if you had seen them, they would look different than they actually are.
Illusions.
Mm-hmm. Now, Snatcher, as you open your mind up, there are no ghosts here. Matter of fact, you haven't seen any ghosts in the past day as you approached her domain.
I'm assuming that's a bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's the Dark Ages, there's at least someone dead everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, the plague was only 50 years ago.
Yeah, that's plenty of time for ghosts to pop up. All right, I'll give the guard his stool back and look over at Eve and just give a non-committed sort of.
There was definitely illusion work at play.
Really?
I know it wasn't their true appearance when I touched this handle and lock, but something was masking.
I'm not enjoying the direction this is going in. I'm going to turn to the one who escorted us here.
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand if it is not the case. May we see inside?
None of us guards have the key to this room. I will have to go find the Major Domo.
Of course.
Please stay here with the other 2 guards while I go locate him. And he turns and heads down the hallway. Now we're going to flash over to Augustine and Gwen as you go out back. You're led to the back of the mansion and out through the back openings of the property wall, which she's got a decently sized stone wall behind the mansion, though the front isn't walled in. Apparently she's got a nice garden area she can walk without anyone observing her. But you're led to a cemetery that's not far from the place. And he takes you over. Now, this man may be old and looks skeletal, but he's a spry thing as he takes you further in and points at, there's no gravestone. There's just 2 mounds of fresh dirt. They were buried there, sir.
Thank you very much. And I'll dig up the first one barehanded.
I mean, there's a shovel not far away.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'll pull it.
Okay. When you dig them, it takes you a little while to dig. But as you dig it up, you find they didn't put a box. Your first discovery of the body is when the shovel goes chunk into it.
I think I found where the body has rested. When I apologize if this impedes your studies.
You dig it up enough.
You're muted, Junie.
Thank you. I pulled a Ben.
Mhm.
She will be pulling her hair up as he is doing that.
You dig it
No
up enough to
problem.
get a good look at the body. Gwen, you can give me intelligence, hearth wisdom.
And I will rouse intelligence because we're going to need it.
Mm-hmm.
Diff?
Difficulty will be 6.
That's a 5.
5. As you look over the body, there's a I mean, he's died, so his skin has already gone pale. There was, blood settle, but there's a discoloration on his lips. It tells you this is a poison from east of here. You'd put it quite a bit further east, closer to Constantinople than Transylvania.
Mm-hmm.
But this is somebody who's traveled a bit to get hold of this particular kind of poison. You wouldn't be able to find it around here at all.
Well, he was killed by poison that is not local.
Is it the same one that was used in our city?
No, not even.
No, this was not done by my clan. This is more human-based, maybe? This is more herbs found in Constantinople than here in Transylvania.
Constantinople, all the way here.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite the travel.
And I don't think this group of travelers would go all the way there and then come back. Aren't these people more local?
The traveling people travel a lot.
Yeah, but they stay in more of a hard kind of place,
Do you think I should unbury the other one, or is this enough?
No, I think we need to do the other one too, just in case, because one was human, the other was a ghoul, she said.
Okay. And I'll just leave this one unburied and then unbury the next one.
Okay, and as you dig him up, you're a little more careful this time because you know how deep they buried the first one. And as you dig him up, he's got the same discoloration to his mouth. This is a fast-acting poison, though. It normally kills within 15 minutes.
I look at the skeletal attendant. Which one of these was the ghoul?
Is there a way I can tell that?
I do not know which one the mistress bestowed her a special gift to. She does not inform me.
Oh, I thought you were much higher up.
Yes,
I
you are
am.
not the master of her
House?
triage? Yes.
She has never liked to reveal just who is special in her eyes and who is not.
You were special, though, yes?
I have served for 300 years, yes.
Just 300.
Yes.
Interesting.
You're shaping up to be very good for a Ventru.
I serve the mistress as I am, as I should, as I always have.
Of course.
I think
And
you should
that
start
is-
asking more questions.
No. My lord, that is a sure way to join them in the ground.
I'm not, listen, please, this is your city. I'm not trying to kill you, but when visitors come and they ask you a question that you do not know the answer to, that reflects not bad on you, but on her. You understand?
You do not ask questions of the mistress. She tells us what we need to know. That is how this works. That is, she is the mistress.
Then you are doing exceptionally well for a Ventru.
I only ask because when I was in your shoes, I knew exactly who was bestowed upon the gifts so that I could make sure that they were accounted for and not lost.
You would have to ask the mistress.
I see.
Hmm.
There was no special marking on them, no brand.
She definitely prefers others to not realize. Better that way to discover any treachery. If you do not know who to trust, you are less likely to try to turn one against the other.
Stop the paranoia.
It is one way to do things.
Is there any way between the two, being Gwen's knowledge of ghouls and not, that she can tell by the slow, they're slowly decaying compared to the other human, or is it just
It's only been
two
a
dead
week.
bodies?
I mean, given
Okay.
a bit longer, maybe, but in a week's time, not that much difference.
Okay.
So,
Well, slightly disappointed, but we just learned a bit more than was given.
I will even do you the favor, my young attendant, and I start to rebury the bodies.
Okay. And we're going to flash over to Olga. Olga, Nova takes you back to the courtyard in the back of her property where the guards have this peasant and some horses.
Question for you, Prince Arpad.
Yes, Prince Olga.
Why do your peasants rush to your door, complaining about your rulership?
This young man is a fool. This young man got the wrong ideas from some of these universities, I believe they're called. Something that I am displeased with.
What sort of ideas are those?
Oh, they hear the rumors of what's happened in Western Europe and think that applies here. That the peasants should throw off the shackles of those who rule them. They want representation of all things. That is not the way. That may go in.
Such as a senate?
They don't get that here. The peasants are here to serve us and work the land. This one in particular needs to be punished and serve as a warning to the rest. And I know just how to do it.
I'm sure you do. And Olga just sits and waits.
And she looks at one of the guards and just nods at him. And this guard, you hadn't seen him before. He's huge.
He's quite the specimen.
Yeah, as wide as he is, tall, bald-headed. He's got a number of scars on him. But he nods back and proceeds to, you hear him say something to the guards, and they hook this peasant up to 4 horses. One to each arm, one to each leg.
Drawed and quartered.
And then they proceed to dismember him. Have the horses pull them apart. And then she looks down. She doesn't bat an eye. She doesn't twitch.
Neither
she
does
just
Olga.
stares with that cold, imperious look. And then have the pieces placed in front of the inn outside my mansion. Let the rest in these hovels know. I will not tolerate this.
Yes.
And with a gruff voice, it will be done, mistress. And then those guards and the rather large one begin the
Cleanup.
yeah, the grisly task of gathering the parts.
The cleanup. Yes.
Now, do you approve of this method? Have you used this yourself?
Oh, I have been very creative in my punishments and throughout history.
Yes, sending a body part back as a message, as I recall.
Yes, a certain member of your clan did not understand common decency and manners.
There's a number of that. They don't know what it's like to rule, that you have to be firm when you rule your cities.
Examples have to be made.
Exactly. I hold no ill will towards you for that. I don't care if you killed him. He came in your city.
Exactly. I didn't expect that a ruler such as yourself would bear me ill will over it.
No, if I came in your city and acted the same way, I would expect punishment. Just like if you came in mine and acted like that.
Exactly, and we did not.
Exactly.
We made ourselves known, and before even stepping foot anywhere else amongst your city.
You understand propriety as I expected of a child of Moncada.
Of course.
Are you sure you don't wish refreshments after the spectacle?
No.
Well, let me give you a tour of the place then, at least.
I would love that. Thank you.
And as she goes to take your tour, we're going to flash to Eve and Snatcher. It takes a little while before another very old man, not quite as old or skeletal as the first one, but another one is brought down, and you can tell he's the major domo by, the sheer amount of robes he's wearing and the large, heavy chain around his neck that is covered with keys. My lord, you wish to enter the room?
If that is allowed, yes. The more I can investigate, the closer we will be.
I will open the door, but you are... Understandably, I can't let you walk in. Your clan is known for sticky fingers.
I will purposefully hold my hands and do this and not let them leave line of sight.
Very well. And he
Oh.
pulls this heavy chain from his neck, and he pulls out a rather intricate looking key that he sticks in the lock, and he turns it one way, turns it the other way, turns it back again. And each time he turns it, you notice he's pulling the key either further or pushing it further in or pulling it further out, as if the way this lock is designed, it's got tumblers in different places.
So the design from the look is matching the design of how it actually is. Like
Yes.
when I saw it as an impressive lock, it actually is
This
one.
is a masterwork. Whoever made this lock is a master artisan, a genius of the era.
If I could also learn who invented this lock, I would be appreciative of the knowledge.
I will be fair, sir. I don't know. This was before my time. This was here when I moved Mistress's belongings into this mansion. I assume whoever owned it before her put this in. It was
Perhaps.
a wealthy merchant of some kind.
Perhaps the prince will know. Maybe I will ask her.
Perhaps she'll know. And he opens the door, and inside, I mean, there's coffers with gold stacked in them. That's to be expected. There's several wooden mannequins that hold jewelry of various types. Whoever robbed it didn't steal everything. It looks like they took it all off. There's one empty mannequin that's standing there that has nothing on it.
Where would the what'd you say it was, a placard
No,
for the gold?
Pictorial?
Pectoral would be
thank
right
you.
here around the neck. It'd be a rather
Okay.
large one. And that particular wooden dummy has nothing on it.
Is there any sort of weathering to indicate that stuff was there, or is it just the fact that it's empty?
It's just the fact it's the only one empty you can see from the doorway.
Does the space look disturbed, or is it mostly okay? Like, is there gold somewhere on the floor or
No,
anything like
and
that?
because of the door and the seal, the way it's sealed, there's no dust on the floor to leave any prints or anything. So it's just the fact that of all of them, one is empty. All the others have either brooches or they have large necklaces, tiaras, just all kinds of jewelry. She's got one hell of a collection in here.
No one sees it, but internally, Snatcher is biting his inner cheek with one of his fangs.
I'm like keeping a third eye on him because I know the temptation is so real right now. And how big is this room, did you say?
I'd say it, maybe 20 foot by 10 foot. I mean,
Oh, okay.
It's not gigantic.
No.
We're
But
not
it's
allowed to
big enough.
step. We're not allowed to step inside, but is there any way that I could just sort of like lean? Like, I'm not indicating that I want to go in, but more just like
You lean and look.
Mhm.
There's several cabinets. Looks like some armoires on the side that you can't see that probably contain. It could contain clothes, but it's hard to tell because they're closed. But there's several more chests of money.
As a consummate professional lawyer, I mean thief, could I get a sense of if there is egress from this chamber aside from the door I'm standing in?
It does not appear so. It appears this door is the only way in and out.
Solid stone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
how
it's hewn from the stone. Unlike, it's not stone blocks. It looks like it was carved out and then smoothed and finished as one piece.
do I recognize the architecture?
There
aren't even lore sheets in Dark Ages, and I'm getting mileage out of this shit.
I don't know. Perception. I don't know. You want to go perception enigmas, maybe?
Ooh, I got a dot of enigma, sure.
Sure.
Diff.
8.
Oh, well, how about that? 2 successes.
It looks like it's honestly, which is odd for the region. It's looks like it was done by a group you've heard of. The only ones who could have worked and done the stone this smoothly, this perfectly, would be ones who call themselves Freemasons.
Okay, so nothing specifically speaking to my dear broodmate.
Oh no.
Okay. Because that would have told me something if it was his work.
He builds full castles. He doesn't build just vaults.
Rooms. Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to go to the major dome, just understand your precautions on having my friend here not enter the room, but may I? I only have my eye on one clue, and I tend to read that clue, and you can keep your eye on me this whole entire time I am in there. I'll get my reading and I will exit.
He looks at the 2 guards, watch him, and moves his head towards Snatcher as he steps in there with you. And his eyes are on you like a hawk.
And despite seeing all these nice treasures around me, I'm doing my best just to keep my eye on the dummy, without anything on it.
There's enough money in here, you could give it all to the peasants and they would never have to be peasants again. Okay, you're going to do Spirit's Touch on the dummy?
Yes.
Perception, empathy.
I will do that. So I'm new to the system, so I can add.
You can surge if you want to increase your perception.
Okay.
So you do a rouse check, which just means roll a 10-sided die.
You get 2.
And you add 2 extra dice.
I believe you can also spend a willpower for an auto success,
You can.
right?
You can spend one willpower to auto success.
Before you roll.
Yep.
So I'll willpower that, so I get at least 1.
Mm-hmm. Gives you 1 success.
Perception, empathy.
If you pull up Spirit's Touch, you can hit roll at the bottom.
Oh, I was actually doing that on the.
That doesn't roll the 2 extra dice, though. You'll have to roll 2 extra dice, it looks like.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to add 1 to that, whatever I roll.
Yep.
And what's the difficulty?
I'm going to give you difficulty 6 on this one.
Uh, 6 plus 1 is 7.
Nice. You see this individual come in. The individual that came in, it looks like the major domo, but it doesn't. You could tell that there's another face hidden inside it, which you can't see through. but it appears to be the major domo who came in. Walked in, looked around the room, looked at the treasure for a little bit, the gold, but then settled on just taking stuff off this dummy before they slipped out. But by the way their form is indistinct, you know that that's not their looks. They look like somebody they're not. It is definitely somebody hiding their actual face.
So was from my last reading, is it a similar appearance? Or was it like the same person?
You would guess that it was the same face that they were wearing both times.
Okay. And I kind of open my eyes again and I look at the major domo and says, "That's all I need." And I go in front of him so he can watch me.
Oh, he watches you real close too as you're leaving. And then
try
after
to get
you
maybe
exit,
one glimpse of something, but
he closes the door and locks it. Is there anything else, sirs?
that is it. I garnered a sufficient amount of information, I believe.
The mistress has set aside rooms for you. Would you like me to take you to them?
Of course.
And he escorts you to the rooms. Augustine and Gwen, you're taken by skeleton servant, we'll call him. And he also tells you the mistress has prepared rooms for you all and takes you. It's to a different wing of her mansion, but you're escorted into a series of rooms that all seem to share the same antechamber. She has apparently entertained groups before, where you find Eve and Snatcher, and of course Nova. After you watch the spectacle, Olga, and she gives you a tour of the place, the tour ends
at the wing.
At the wing. You are free to stay here tonight.
Appreciate your hospitality.
I'm sure in the morning you will set out to go find the individuals.
Absolutely.
Did you find anything on the bodies or down in the vault?
Gwen, would you like to share what you discovered? I don't have the words for your scientific acumen.
She's joking.
Right when she's joking.
Wow, Augustine, just gently put me on the spot. This is fine. Let's just say there's a fast-acting poison from herbs that are not from this region.
What region are they from?
Constantinople.
I knew it had to be that. Those traveling folk coming through my land.
I wouldn't think they would know this.
That is a far distance to travel.
It is, being I've done that track many a time. It is not one easily traversed. And to keep those herbs? No.
In the vault, I did a quick reading of the past. I could not match face because it was using a false one. It was actually an illusion of sorts, masking their true appearance.
I've heard rumors of that before. They come from out east. The Ravnos.
Snatcher will just slightly lean forward.
They usually travel with the Romani.
Granted, my clan has also been known to hide faces.
How good was the mimicry?
They did to me, a completely foolproof mask of using the major domo. And I know it was not him himself.
That would explain how they drank the wine.
And Olga just makes a pointed look to Snatcher. That isn't Nosifex.
No,
And she
it is
doesn't say
not.
it, but that's what the look conveys.
And he gives a nod like, yeah, that about confirms it.
Well, I will leave you all. I will. My guards tell me that you left your men at the inn. I will send someone to inform him that you are staying here, and I will make sure that anything you need for your mounts and for your horses to make sure that they are properly stabled for the night.
You're most kind.
Of course.
Appreciate the hospitality.
Of course. And with that imperious air that she seems to have, she turns and leaves the room, closing the door behind her.
Mm-hmm.
She does not lock it behind her.
Of course not. So in the vault, did it seem like they just snatched and grabbed, or was it intentional?
Oh no, they had targets that they retrieved.
It was
Nothing else was disturbed.
It was on one particular mannequin.
So they knew what they were going for.
Very much.
They had to have known because they specifically knew that the major domo was the one that could get into the vault.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and if it was a K-Knight, they could have gotten the key without him even aware.
Depending how old they are, they know exactly how to make this fast-acting poison that not only killed the human,
But also
but
the ghoul, because it was so fast-acting.
They couldn't heal enough.
Right.
And I couldn't tell on which body was the ghoul because apparently the woman doesn't mark her ghouls.
Well, she doesn't let people know which ones are.
Exactly.
Prevents them being targeted. She's a brutal ruler. She's always going to have enemies.
Speaking of, how was the execution?
Grotesque, as they should be.
Mm.
But it seems that she doesn't prefer to make a public spectacle out of it. Instead, she makes a public spectacle of the remains. The young man was drawn and quartered, and his parts will be hung in front of the inn.
Grotesque is an apt term.
The more heinous.
It honestly lacked creativity, in my opinion, but, you know.
I almost miss the Zamisi authoritarian design.
Never going to ask you for how you're going to be more creative than that. Remind me never to ask.
I literally
see.
trapped people in a bathhouse and burned them alive. I buried them alive on their ship.
That's because you like to do buryings and burnings.
I believe coming from the woman who started her creativity career with flaming birds.
Oh no, that was towards the end. That was like the pinnacle during my life.
Storyteller.
Yes.
Having had, for a small period, some contact with the Ravnos, would I have learned anything from my late lover about, like, who might be coming this way or who is known amongst them? Like, there's the stereotype of they're all thieves, but I know that's not true. But is there any that are actually known to be thieves that were last reported coming this direction?
There's always the rumors they steal children, they steal everything not nailed down.
Mhm.
That was a sore point for her in particular. But her opinion was, in any group, there's always some bad apples that cause problems for the rest. But in this era, you also know that the Ravnos are almost always with the Romani people. So it would go to reason that a lot of their bad reputation is being caused by Canaanite bad apples, not the people themselves.
Mhm. I do not wish this to be as obvious as it appears, but it is hard to see if there is an alternative answer.
It is a Ravnos.
It is.
And it is not the people, it is a Ravnos.
Yes. Storytellers. So being grown up in the caravans, how much encounters would I have with Romani?
You wouldn't have had many because most of the time you spent doing the caravans, they weren't traveling this area yet.
They weren't in your area.
Yeah. You're in the era now where they've just started to appear in decent sized numbers in Transylvania. Where they're almost immediately enslaved or abused or slaughtered.
Right about now starts about 500 years of their enslavement.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Snatcher will hold out his hand in front of the group. Wait 1 second to double check a small thing. Okay. And he will then close his hand, reopen it, and you all see a gold piece sitting on his palm. And he holds it out to Eve.
Really?
Take it. Your fingers go right through it and it doesn't leave my palm.
Oh.
That is what Ravnos are capable of on a much better scale than I can pull off.
He had one as a lover for a time.
And his hand will
That's
just shift and then it's gone. Making themselves appear to be someone else is definitely within the realm of possibility.
And it's not just like what Snatcher does, where he appears mundane.
Hideous, but human.
Yeah, mundane and different. It is a true mimicry.
Yes.
When we met my love, she manifested an entire person.
Yes.
Who she was parading as a Ventru.
That was walking and talking.
Mm-hmm.
And even interacted physically with a few, although I'm sure they were simply in on the illusion. But it is very possible for them to mimic the face of someone else better than we could ever do as Nosferatu.
Is this a Ravnos that you have met that we might have some common ground with?
The few that I have met were with her, and
I will say the Torinu, she said that they were called the Torinu. You've never had dealings with that group at all.
Okay.
Augustine, you haven't encountered that group either in your travels.
I'll still share the name so that we all know it.
Well, they are headed south of here. So that is where we go tomorrow.
Pity she didn't have a name.
I doubt they would have ever told her. She may not have even known one was in her city.
Let's just say I know a thing or two about tracking people, the exact people, and not having to go through.
Shame we do not have a face to pair with the act.
Yeah.
That would have been something I could have used. I can track the prey very good with that.
Eve, were there any emotions along with what you saw?
Not that I could perceive. Like I said, I guess it masked their emotional state as well. I don't know how further the illusion goes.
I will tell you, Eve, you had enough successes. Normally you would get the name, those kind of things, but for this individual, you did not. It suggests that their name isn't important to him.
Everything was masked. Everything was kept under lock and key.
Did you happen to learn an age? Are we dealing with someone new, someone old?
No, the only detail I have is the perfect replica of the Major Domo. And just the knowledge that it was not him.
One more question for you, Shanky.
Yes.
We've, I'm excluding Eve, of course, because he wasn't there for this, but we have encountered gargoyles.
Yes, you have.
Do we know the basics of what they can do aside from the flying?
No,
Like
you've
the
not
other
seen
part?
one pass through stone ever.
Okay, then I won't have that suspicion because my character wouldn't know.
Well, the sun will be rising soon.
So as you all make your way to the various rooms set aside, I think right here, everybody, we're going to go to break. When we're back from the break, they will once again be setting out on the road to investigate who took the jewelry. Such a trivial thing for Moncada to send you to do.
No, it's not.
We will see everyone after the break. Please enjoy. And welcome back, everybody. Before the break, they arrived in Nova Arpad's city where they found, well, there was a peasant being a bit uppity, and Olga went with Nova to watch him get put in his place, well, in places, as he was taken apart for his audacity.
Mhm.
Snatcher and Eve went to investigate the vault where some jewelry was stolen and found whoever's doing it's not wearing their own face. And Augustine and Gwen discovered that the poison used was definitely from out east, fast-acting, killing ghouls and humans rather quickly. But this group has slept through the day in Nova Arpad's mansion, and with the setting of the sun, you rise again to head out south.
Mm-hmm. I will say, as we're passing through the city, Olga will make sure that she spends a little bit of money with the merchants to help support their trade a little bit.
Okay.
What was the name of the city that they said this fugitive was heading towards?
Let me pull it up again real quick.
It started with an H.
Hamstead.
Hermestad.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which Olga knows is actually ruled by Maruska, the Nosferatu member of the Council of Ash, or Council of Ashes.
As we're going through the town, I'll lean over to Snatcher. Do you recognize any of the dealings of the underworld? Do you see any other of your kind around?
I'll check around real quick in case I do see. I'm not specifically looking for Nos because we can't find each other ever. But I am looking, as he said, for like criminal element and stuff like that.
I mean,
Thieves,
it's a city.
shit like. Mm-hmm.
There's a
Okay.
criminal element. It's a city.
Do they seem as efficiently run as our cities, or are they a bit sloppier?
It's hard to tell. I mean, you would probably comment that there's definitely lacking efficiency. There's too many in some areas, not enough in other areas. They're not spread out properly to get a good, run through of the crowds.
Do any of them seem to be getting caught?
I mean, you don't see any caught in your time here, but you're at the early in the night,
Is it only like a few hours still after sunset,
Yeah,
or are we
as you're
okay.
heading out of town.
Not even midnight sort of
No, not
hours?
yet. You've got to
Okay.
get a start on the road if you're going to catch these people. Granted, they do travel slower. They like to stop, but they also have almost a week's head start on you.
I don't see anything that speaks directly to clan. They do have crime.
Oh yeah, everything has crime.
I don't know how this city would handle thievery. I know that from back when I was alive, it was the removal of some fingers if you were not executed.
I'm just wondering if there might have been some help along with this endeavor. It would seem almost Herculean for one Knight to do this on their own.
I'll actually turn and glance at Eve for that comment. You saw them.
I saw one.
Now, does that mean that only one interacted with the mannequin, or there was only one?
Well, I first read the lock that you were actually inspecting to see if anyone has fiddled with it, and that is
What a
not.
lock.
Actually, yeah, that is quite good craftsmanship, if I say so. And then it seemed like to be the same exact individual, at least if it's the same individual that's using a different individual using the same disguise, at least.
You've stolen before, Snatcher. When you work, I assume that you would have some kind of watcher, yes?
For the times when one is necessary. But that vault was deep underground, carved from stone. It was not built in a frame. It was put there with each hammer of a chisel, I would assume.
Again, this feels like the prior knowledge would have been needed if that is the case.
And the key. Storyteller, can I make the key with some more Ignis Fatuus? Can I make that key that I saw? Only visible, of course, but it's just me holding the key.
Yeah, it's rather intricate, but you think you've got a pretty good grasp of it?
This was the general look of the key. And this key was not placed in and turned. It was placed in, turned again, pulled back, turned more. It was a whole sequence. Hence why I was appreciating the lock. I'd very much like to know the designer.
Santa Olga, you have dealt with Prince Arpad before. Do you know of any enemies she might have? Aside from being Ventru, of course.
I mean, there was a time where she was captured and a Nosferatu posed as her.
Well,
Yes, she has many enemies. She is a Ventru in Transylvania. So literally most of the council is against her.
not to mention the ruling clan.
Exactly. Yes. And of course, she has some favoritism towards Tremere, which also does not give her any friends as well. So
disgusting.
Exactly. Yes. And so basically, you could count her friends with more fingers left over than you could her enemies. And who's to say that this Ravnos did it for themselves? It's possible they were contracted to do it for someone else that would have this knowledge.
Could also be for the same reason that we are tracking them down, is the influence of a boon.
Exactly. Or they were promised a boon for doing it. So, yes, it is highly possible someone has some petty grudge against her and stole her favorite trinket to spite her.
This does feel personal.
It does, because it was in her home. It was in her vault. And it wasn't just some vault that you could, barge through the door. You had to have a specific key with a specific sequence to get in. You have to have intimate knowledge. I bet it's a former lover.
For a snatching crab. No offense, Snatcher.
I bet it is a former lover. It is someone who has spent intimate time with her. Or perhaps it is the Nosferatu if they are not dead.
If one of mine is involved, I will handle that bit internally.
Nah. I don't personally care who stole her shit.
I will say, from what I understand of the Ravnos, most of the things that they do out of fear or desperation.
This does not smell
Um,
of either of those.
No. But the evidence pointing towards Ravnos is...
They could also be set up to take the fall.
Indeed, and that's my concern. I wish blame to be placed on the correct head.
Mm.
It will. We have not disappointed you before.
Perhaps. If the Ravnos has not been bound in some way that prevents them from talking.
Indeed. There's only so much you can do with a lost cause.
You can talk in their head.
But as you stated, this does not seem to be something someone is doing out of fear or desperation.
Oh, no,
This
it is
seems-
pure spite.
It is spite, and it is planned spite. It's not even a fit of passion.
It is revenge.
Yep. It is, as you have said, it is her favorite trinket that has been passed down, like she said, from her sire to her sire, from her sire to her sire.
It is her favorite little toy.
Plus, I knew what to find it.
Yes.
And
You said
how
nothing
to
else was
the guards.
taken.
Just the items on the one mannequin that had that pictogram.
There was treasure abound, and I was not allowed to set foot within the vault.
No, this...
This was planned.
Mm.
Intentionally
course.
taking that one item, but taking others that were with it.
This wouldn't be what one would call petty.
No. It was
No.
orchestrated, it was plotted, it was designed.
For this one particular item.
Yes.
And the rest may be reward. Like pick what you want.
Pettiness... Continue.
Actually, that was it.
Pettiness is childish compared to this.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is creative. Of course, she would assume the most base would do this. No, this is creative. She doesn't think creatively.
I mean, she doesn't even read our books.
No,
wouldn't
she
know what
she is
creative was.
also against her populace being educated.
I
This-
am...
That's a crime against humanity off of their head.
Because I asked her pointedly why her peasants were revolting. And she said that he had gotten ideas from the university. That the peasants should remove their shackles.
I can't roll my eyes.
I know.
To the back.
Trust
of my
me, I know.
head.
And I was like,
Any further?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I know the measure of her. I have sat in council with her many times. She is what you see.
That is disappointing. I am used to a much higher grade of Ventru,
Yes, well, you will not find that in Transylvania.
clearly.
She's as dry as the books in her library.
This is where, literally, Ventru are sent to pasture because they have a short shelf life here.
This is true.
Disappointing, but understandable. I was embraced and lived within the city ruled by Mithras.
Yes. he
The
was an
Venture
interesting
garner
man.
respect from all in that city.
This is correct. He
You may
won.
not be liked, but you are respected as a Venture in London.
When he
Here
won,
it's...
Here they are not really high clan.
Indeed.
they're a joke.
I garner more respect than a Venture here.
Oh, but she has no ill will against me with the gift I gave her.
Oh.
Supposedly. We shall
Even
see.
amongst shite, you can find diamonds.
I wouldn't compress it. I didn't.
I think, honestly, she's not suicidal. She knows if she went against me, she would go against all of us.
One can hope.
So,
I do feel that this thief, as much as I'm sure it was intentional for taking from Nova Arpad, to steal from any venture, especially the ones that seem to feel they have to have a firm control on everything, I feel like that is a quick way to upset, even if something that will not live long, it will live brightly and explosively.
It is also destabilizing for Nova Arpad. She is so focused on this, what is she not looking at?
Very big distraction.
Yes, it is. Take
I can
something
respect-
personal to draw her attention.
I can respect the strategy. Unfortunately, we're set against the thief in this instance.
And that is all we need to do, deliver her the thief.
Mhm.
So you all are sitting out on the road. It's an uneventful trip. It comes about 4 days after you've departed when your best horse thief, best scout, comes back and says that as you're setting up for the night, he rides back into camp.
He could be both.
He is. The
Very
best
much
horse
is.
thieves are the best scouts. I'm just saying.
They are.
100%.
He comes riding back as the camp is setting up for the night, and he informs, my lords and ladies, I've located the traveling folk you're looking for. We should hit them just before sunset tomorrow. They're camped in it looks like some sort of fiefdom of some local nobles or something, about a day out from the town or the city.
All right.
They were just getting set up, so I assume they will be there for at least tomorrow, a few more days.
Yes.
Storyteller, are we still in Ventrue territory, or have we sort of reached back into Nos now?
Most of the time, once you leave the immediate vicinity of a city,
You're
in no man's land.
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes claimed by Zimitsi that, members of the Voivode who, claim parcels of land. Sometimes Gangrel who claim parcels of land, but you're not in a recognized
Territory.
There's no
Okay.
Nez that you can recognize or anything else where you're here.
Is Maruska a Nez?
She's a member of the Council of Ashes.
She is? Okay.
Yes.
What do I know about her?
Nosferatu, rumor has it she's been having trouble with a Zimitsi named Morel, who's been causing all kinds of trouble outside her city, using wolves to encroach and attack her people.
Okay. The city, Hermannstadt, it is under the rulership of Maruska. She is a Nosferatu. She's a member of the Council of Ashes. She has been, rumor has it that she's been having some difficulty with a Zamitsi that has been sending wolves to harry her. Morel. Believe she's Radu's child.
Oh.
Mm.
Brilliant. Just what we need. Shanky, I have exactly 1 dot of status with my clan, as I have been trying to branch out with them for fucking decades now. Any extra information I would have gotten through connections about Maruska? Anything like that? Anything that maybe wouldn't be as widely known?
She's not well trusted by any of the Zimitsi. You're kind of shocked she's on the Council of Ashes. You're shocked she's managed to hold a city inside Transylvania, because here in Transylvania, Nosferatu are looked at as non-beings, non-status individuals.
I've been told that she is not well liked among the clan Zamisi at all, and the fact that she has a territory is impressive and confusing.
Yes, well, she wouldn't be. She is a Nos that has kept a city for some time now in Transylvania.
I can respect the strategy, although I think we handled getting a city better. Find it's easier to work with the Zamisi than against them.
Oh, it most certainly is. But we also deal with some disfavor at times from other Zamitsi because we have no Zamitsi within our core group. And we rule differently than they do because we rule as a group instead of an individual.
At the very least, we are blessed to not have a Ventru amongst us.
Praise me for that.
Peregrine goes into a very long Irish poem for a moment and then ends and just goes, You wanted to be praised. There you go.
I thank you. I appreciate your praise. As a saint, I will bless you.
Well, it was between that and the Morgan. I take both the blessings. There you go.
Please do not leave me out, and I'll do the sign of the cross in front of him.
I will touch his forehead and say, I bless you as a saint.
I am blessed.
While that's happening, Snatcher's just going to pat various spots on himself to make sure like anything that he would steal is still there. And that's his crossing himself.
And I bless your further thievery.
Oh, and now I will do so without judgment, as I have been absolved. And yes, Eve, welcome to what it is like to travel with us.
I mean, I'm happy to travel with the saint at least. So.
Welcome to the
I
church
truly
of
am. I truly am. It's absolutely
Yes.
hilarious to me.
I should add an icon of you to my collection. I think it would be interesting.
Oh, that would be
I
interesting.
can see if that one is made.
Would you?
I would love that.
Little tiny thing. I go, oh, look
Yeah,
at
yeah.
It's a little Olga.
Sculpture is not mine, but I can hopefully seek out some.
I think to lean on Eve's strength, perhaps we should commission a triptych of Santa Olga's rise into sainthood, with the sides being the both of clearly the events that led to this
And the
sanctification.
third, her rising above a burning city of Drevlins.
Yes.
One side is the burning ships, the other side is the burning city with the pigeons, and then her rising up with the whole cross thing going.
Yes, yes.
How good are you with fire motif, Eve? Because you're going to get
I
good.
will tell you my history so you can have so you can get to work on it.
The community project, we find a wall large enough, I can do that. And if they refrain from the dicks,
Oh, please refrain from the dicks. I only ever had one in my life, and it was enough to create a son, and then I was done with it.
yes, I mean, as a community project.
The roosters.
Yes, as a community project at in the trade
You
district
do
or
that
arts
at
or
the
wherever.
church, yes?
You could see of all of maybe not just your personal history, maybe that'll be a large part of it, but your rise to power in the city. And with some caveats, obviously.
No, that's not a blaspheme, but at least not too much. But
No, we have a holy relic from the Saint Olga, and it is a beautiful thing. And then making a little, nice little decoration on top of it.
well,
And do the whole thing.
the churches nearby our city do have relics of mine, so that they can have them at their altars. Yes.
Because everyone needs a bone.
Oh,
Well done.
I feel I should ask. After meeting with your ass of a sire, what was his comment on the Ark of the Covenant?
Oh, that it wasn't real. Because
Did he tell you to?
Because he
get
said he
rid of
would have
it?
felt it.
He didn't tell you to get rid of it, did he?
No.
Damn.
Because I told him that it's real enough to inspire their faith.
Whenever you want it gone, please just melt it down and give it to me.
Of course.
that is a significant
Of
amount
course.
of gold.
And eventually enough time they'll realize it is a fake and then it will lose interest and we will melt it down.
About the down made in your image again.
A golden bull. We can place it in the center of one of the churches.
Let's not do
There
the
you go.
bull. This is not London.
I mean, true.
There were worse things in London.
There was many worse things in London. I miss Londonium. We have to go back at some time.
Snatcher,
I've never
since
been.
these are your people, do you want to take the lead with them?
When we speak with them, certainly. I've been trying to reach out to this particular Nosferatu for some time. She has been
were you
busy.
mentioning the Nosferatu brother or were you talking about the travelers?
Yes,
I will point out
both.
this where you're going is one of the lords probably of the city, but maybe far enough out that it's technically not considered part of her domain.
Okay.
If nothing else, Nacho, we can tag team. You can talk amongst the populace. I will distract the lords, as it were.
Indeed. And if we happen to find a disparate camp of Romani and they are not the ones involved, I can speak with them as well.
Yes.
So, the next night, as you awake as the sun sets, Lord and ladies, we're parked. We've set up camp not far from their camp so that you can approach. We've observed the place from a distance, and quite a number of, it appears to be the household of the Lord here, whoever's land this is, has had a number of people come out. They appear to be hearing songs and various festivities. They seem to be enjoying time at the camp. I'm told this is normal for when the traveling folk come into a town until things turn poorly.
Of course.
Indeed. Would you all like to make the approach a little differently than usual?
Certainly.
And Snatcher will just spread his arms out for a second, and I am going to cloak the gathering, Storyteller, and make everyone unseen.
Okay.
Every single coterie member.
Well,
Okay.
And-
Let me look at this real quick.
And
to see.
Snatcher will also explain to all of you that it is you who breaks this, not me. So if you wish to be seen, then simply do something that will make you seen.
so if we break it, we wouldn't break all of us.
No, just yourself.
Just yourself.
Okay.
But if
Basically gives the obfuscate to each individual in the group.
It's a
Every
fucking
dot is
melee
stealth.
power. I
hang on.
have 5 dots
In stealth or in
in stealth.
Okay. So you can, for every
I have
dot,
5
you
in
can,
stealth,
you
5
can
in
do it up to
obfuscate.
6 people, yourself and 5 others. Got it.
Yep.
Perfect.
But believe me, I researched this ahead of time.
I'll add on to that, and I will do my own Silence of Death and Unseen Passage
Okay.
so that it helps.
Okay. I got to check something real quick as you all are heading over to the camp. Are you going to go on horse? Well, you can't go on horse if you're going hidden.
We'll walk it.
Yeah. Kind of
Not
hard.
that far. And then for those who haven't been obfuscated before, Snatcher will explain the basics of how it works. You know, like people will avoid you subconsciously. Just do your best not to bump into people a lot, and don't. And small movements are fine, and you can even do the occasional whisper, but don't. Anything that would just make you generally noticed, just try your best to avoid.
As you get closer to the camp, you see there's a bunch of enclosed wagons, dozen and a half. They're kind of in a circle around a central bonfire. There's a bunch of little fires in front, next to some of the other wagons. And you could tell that it's various groups are congregating at each of the little fires. The central bonfire is not really used that much. There's a section roped off where you see horses, goats tied up.
A paddock, basically.
Right. But there's a number of dogs and chickens wandering the area. And as you get closer, several of the dogs start growling.
I'm inoffensive to animals.
You are.
So I am. Yeah, so I am. Yeah, but yeah.
I'm not.
And
I've got animal kin of one.
they seem to have their hackles up looking right at you. Yeah, you know obfuscate doesn't always work on animals.
Nope. I still have rats with me, don't I?
I'm sure they're somewhere.
I would have been hell bent to bring at least a decent amount. Could I send some rats to distract some dogs?
I mean, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want the dogs to leave the camp, but just like to have them chase the rats to the other side of the camp.
Okay.
So that it looks like, oh, they're just barking at the fucking rats instead of whatever they see with
Olga's
us.
looking around to see where this lord might be.
You don't see anyone that strikes you as lord. What you're struck by the outfits is minor nobility or hangers-on of the local lord, the normal sycophants that congregate around any lord. No real power of their own.
And they are intermingled with this camp.
There's a number of them that seem to be listening to the music in a group. And you also see 3 of them step out of a covered wagon together.
I'm going to go to that covered wagon and kind of peer in once they walk away.
Okay, and as you're approaching the wagon, a woman steps out. She's got long black hair. She's wearing several layers of clothes with a shawl, a headpiece around her head, fashioned with various, it's not coins, it's pieces of metal discs that hang from it. And you can see as she steps out of her little wagon, she looks around and her eyes glaze over a bit, and then her eyes come back into focus as she looks right at you.
And I will go ahead and break my obfuscate and say good evening.
Greetings, strangers. Would your friends like to come over too? I see that they're skulking about, and it's very unfriendly.
Olga just signals.
I'll break obfuscate.
I'm not breaking obfuscate, but I know I've been seen if I'm being, so I'll walk up, but I'm not shifting out just yet until I'm not seen by the mortals in camp.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah,
I don't need to give them a heart attack.
Though you've come in
obfuscate
stealth,
once,
I still welcome you to the hospitality of our camp.
Thank you.
The warmth of our fires and the talents of our people are yours. Everyone, please give me perception alertness difficulty 8.
I'm going to surge.
Okay.
Surging.
Does detect weakness count?
I'll let you have it for this one.
Not farsighted.
Nah, not farsighted for this one.
You said 8, right?
Yep.
You said alertness?
Yep. Perception alertness.
Damn.
I'm going to spend a willpower ahead of time for one success.
And what's the
Okay.
difficulty?
8.
One success.
Ooh, with that willpower, I get 3.
I got 4.
4, 3.
4 as well.
This
Four.
seems to be the episode of 3 for me.
For everyone who got less than 3, she appears to have a heavy gold necklace under her shawl. But for those with 3 and 4, she definitely appears to be wearing some sort of pectoral under her
Does it?
outfit.
So does it match like one in my vision, at least the outline of it?
It might. It's hard to tell under her shawl, but it does look like it might be tablets in pectoral. So it's probably a good chance that it's what you're looking for. But she looks you over. You must have great need to visit us if you've traveled through the night. Most people don't. These good folk, as you see, came for my services to pierce the veil that surrounds everyone in the future.
So
Would you
are a seer.
would you like me to read your fortunes as well?
Do you ever read your own?
No, it doesn't work that way for me.
It doesn't. Fascinating. And what tools do you use to read the future?
Oh, well, step into my wagon here and I will show you all.
As we enter, I will finally drop the obfuscate and then also give a proper Roma greeting and then greet her in the Romani language as well.
You have met our kind before.
I have.
Your pronunciation was slightly off, probably regional.
That is what she warned me of as well.
And she pulls out, it's a deck of cards. Now, in this era, tarot is not really come much into use yet. It's relatively new, brought by the Romani.
Yes, it is.
As she pulls out a deck of cards, and she looks at you, these cards will focus events of the past, the present, and the future. And it may reveal the life pattern of things to come.
Do your reading.
Please picture in your mind something you would like to know the answer to. You don't have to say what it is, but please picture it in your mind.
Olga pictures in her mind, are you the thief?
And she pulls out a card. This is called the Current. This represents you all as the group. And she lays down the Knight of Cups. And then she begins to shuffle the cards. And then she lays the cards on the table and asks somebody, please cut the cards.
I'll reach out and cut the deck.
Okay. And then she pulls a card out from the top and covers the current card. This is the Moon. It represents powerful portions or forces and passions outside your control. You stand in the midst of these forces, and this is why it covers you. And then she pulls the top card and lays it across the first card, creating a cross. The Three of Swords denotes great sorrow. Your heart is pierced by the conflict that surrounds you, threatening that which means the most to you. This crosses you. And then she places the next card from the top of the deck just below the cross, the Eight of Cups. This indicates abandonment in your past. Those who supported you have already begun to withdraw their approval. Perhaps they see you as a threat to their authority. It's the basis or foundations of your current dilemma. And then she places a fourth card above the cross. The Hierophant or High Priest stands for tradition and faith. It is this force that holds power to unlock and translate the secrets of your future. This crowns you, for it lies immediately ahead of you. She draws the next card and places it to the right of the cross. This card is death. But do not be alarmed, for we all know that death is but the beginning of a new life.
It is transformation.
It is a renewal, and it lies in your immediate past. You are newly come from this renewal. No, wait, no, it's not so. You have recently experienced a transformation that will greatly affect your future actions. This lies behind you. She places a sixth card to the left of the cross, in line with the preceding card, the Two of Pentacles. This card stands for balance. Its position indicates to me that your actions in the coming times will sway a delicate arrangement of forces in the world around you. What you do will affect more lives than your own. This determines your extended future. She places a seventh card to the right, a little below the cross formed by the other six cards. This world represents fulfillment. It occupies the position of your innermost concerns. You have lived through difficult times, yet for as long as your existence to have meaning, fear will remain forever a pawn of somebody greater than yourself. She places the eighth card above the previous one, the Seven of Cups. This is temptation. Its place in your fortune represents the forces outside you who wish you to enact their will and who lure you with promises. Weigh carefully the value of their words against the reality of their actions. You face a time of great trials and tribulations. And when she says great trials and tribulations, your memory flashes back to when Anatole stood not so long ago in your fortress and said those exact things to you. She places the 9th card above the 8th one. The 10 of Cups. This represents satiation. This is your goal, to satisfy your desires and fulfill your ambitions, whatever way you can. It's a descriptive card, though, in this position. For you may achieve one thing only to find that you really desire something else. And she pulls the last card off. This is the final card. The Wheel of Fortune is the card of destiny. This is the culmination of what has gone before. Just as the wheel turns, everything repeats itself in an unending cycle of activity. But here, in this time, you stand as the turners of that wheel. You are part of fate, but in some states or some senses, you are your very own destiny. And then you see her face change, and there's a look of awe as she looks over you. This has been very powerful. This cards have said a lot tonight. I sense great forces gathering around you. And these cards confirm what I feel with you. And it's at this point you suddenly hear screams and horses and swords from outside the wagon. Right here, everybody. This is where we're going to end. Glimpses of History, Season 4, Episode 3, where they've had a very important foretelling that not only reinforces what Anatole says, but casts questions about their own actions in it. And then the attack has arrived. And I would like to thank my players, you the viewers. Things are about to get ugly, everybody. For XP tonight. Everyone will get 4 XP for tonight. The meeting with Nova Arpad could have gone much worse. At least you all had the good sense not to intercede in the peasants' behalf. Though I have to say, we need to do some road checks here. For those on the path of humanity.
Oh,
boy.
Yeah, I sort of figured.
The Road of Kings, definitely not, because you deferred to the owner and the lord of the land, so I will not get you on the Road of Kings. I'm pretty sure the path of chivalry. Wait a minute, though. It could be dangerous for the path of chivalry, too. Let's see, Augustine, you have a path rating of 6.
6.
Failure to come to the aid of another. It is your duty to protect the weak. You failed to protect the weak in that particular.
Sure you don't want to change your road there? Sure you don't want to change your road there?
So you are going to roll either your conscience or conviction, whichever one you have for your character, against the difficulty of 6. And because it is the same difference of your road, you only have a difficulty of 6.
Okay.
3 dice with a difficulty of 6. Let's deal with yours first.
You got it. Ooh.
No
can I willpower
successes.
that?
Too late. Well, you can roll power because of our rules you're using.
Re-roll.
You can re-roll 2 dice.
Okay.
Because we are using a combination of V20s and V5s.
Oh my
Still 0.
God.
Your roll, you either drop to a 5 or you lose a conscience, self-control, or courage, your choice.
I will drop to a 5.
Very well.
That's what I opted for last time.
If you ever want
No.
to change your roll, you'll have to drop them down, all your convictions to 1 in order to
Yep.
change
Start
roads.
over.
It's a bitch.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got
No.
4 for Eve on your path of humanity.
Yeah, Path of Community, actually.
That's the subgroup you took.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look and see. Let me see.
I think it's in main book.
Yeah, computer's being a bit slow, so I can't load it right now.
Here we go. I'm pulling it up real quick. You have road 5. No wanton destruction, no impassioned violation, no planned violations of people, no casual violations of the community. Nope, you have not violated your path at all, because this is about the community, not the individual. So you are safe on yours. Snatcher, though.
I willingly put someone into very much harm's way.
Yes, you did.
Yes,
I
you did.
knew what would happen when they get caught.
Yes.
But you're
Olga
at
couldn't be
humanity
prouder.
4.
Yes, I am.
So that might be a little better for you, possibly.
Maybe.
Let's see.
What we have here is a matter of degradation.
You did not accidentally violate another. You did not do an impassioned violation, planned violation of another. Actually, I don't think you.
No.
No.
Really? Selling someone out who then got drawn and quartered doesn't fuck my road at all?
No.
That's really shocking.
You did not violate the other person. You just allowed them the consequences of their actions.
Yeah.
Hey, if I was 10 humanity, this would be a violation.
Yes, it would. It would have been injury to another. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Hey, folks, look, low humanity is a good thing.
Yeah. If you
It
were
is.
10 humanity, you would not be in this group.
Not
No.
for long.
No.
No, I would have imploded
Yeah.
if I was in this group at 10 humanity. Either by going full white or just leaving because y'all are fucking monsters.
Yeah, we are.
So, and now that we've handled that and we've given the experience, please, everybody, join us on our Discord, the cast of this show.
Did Gwen have to resolve hers?
No, Gwen is Path of Illumination.
Oh, Path of Illumination. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
fancy.
cool.
Oh, fancy.
Also within the branch of humanity, but not exactly humanity. I'm the only one that has to worry about
Wow.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. She gets
Interesting.
penalized a lot for not allowing people to progress the path she has taken
Yeah.
and not learning, essentially.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have such great education in our city.
So join us on the Discord. The cast of this show comes from our Discord. The cast of all of our shows come from Discord. You can pop over there. You can talk with the cast members. You can hang out, talk general shit. We've got a good community. We try to support each other. Once in a while, we play non-streamed games of normally Blood on the Clock Tower, good social deduction things, just as a community building exercise. But we don't get to do that often because, well, timing and getting that many people, and it takes more people than a cast of a show that you've got to coordinate to play something like that. So we don't get to do it often, just like we don't get to do the Zooms as often as we like, but we like to do Zoom Hangouts when we can, just as a way to chat with the community, because that's what we do. If you want to catch our back episodes, pop over to YouTube. You can see the back episodes of this stream, all of our other World of Darkness, and trust me when I say we have a lot of World of Darkness. We have Demon, Wraith, Vampire, V5, holy shit, Changeling, Werewolf, Mage, V5, another V5, because we've had multiple V5 Chronicles around here. Soon to have another one, which you'll find out when we get to the schedule here shortly. There'll be even another V5 Chronicle around here, which goes back to join us on the Discord. Eventually, I'm going to post up a casting call for a V20 game. Eventually. It'll be a little while, but
It'll be a little while.
we're going to be doing a V20
We
game.
got to get through the end of the year first.
Oh, we got to get through Kansas City first.
That too.
6 seasons left.
Yeah.
So if they make it that long.
If we make it that long.
So join us on the or check out our YouTube. If you want to see Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, pop over to Ishvel's channel. That is where our European DM keeper, GM, and all around. Well, she's a doctor, but she's also a mistress of tentacles, because she's at various points been everything from 95 to 97% human, as she puts it. So you got to wonder what the other 5 to 3% of her was. Just putting it out there. You want to catch some amazing content creators? Check out our friends list. One of them, let me see if I can get the direction right down there. There we go. Junie Von Esch. What you got going on, Junie?
Well, on my own channel, I'm making merch. I'm doing strangling of yarn and yelling at people when I turn around and do gaming. However, I may or may not be doing something here on Saturdays. I'm also a wonderful miscreant on somebody else's channel when he gets jumping back into the water, which leads to...
Ravenous Archon, right over here. What you got going on, Ravenous Archon?
Oh man, I was just looking at how many points it's going to take to raise my tenebration. But otherwise, I was
So
running
many.
TT. Yeah, it gets expensive when it gets high. I run TTRPGs on my own channel. We've been taking a break because of health reasons. I'm hoping to get back into it. But otherwise, you can catch me here being the lovable scamp that I am as Augustine. Or, the hard-ass troll that is Oscar Holst in the Changeling game. And you will catch me quite possibly being a player and behind the screen of Queen's Gambit coming up.
You'll see him Friday as Franklin Crown.
Yes.
In
Yeah,
Queen's
boy.
Gambit episode 1, too.
Mhm.
Beetle Spock, I know you're not streaming anywhere else, but I also know you've got some stuff places. What do you got going for you, I thought?
Yeah, I have a couple things on DM's Guild I contribute to for third-party D&D content, mainly one for completely blank right now. It's like kind of a Chris Estrade, Domains of Dread, and one's Domains of Delight for the Feywild. So,
I mean, I don't play D&D, but I know a lot of people do, and a lot of people enjoy it. So check him out over there. Yep, Snatcher down there. And Snatcher, what do you got going on? I know you, every once in a while I have to ask you that because you come up with things to say anyway.
Hey, I've actually got shit that I can pimp finally because I'm actually a storyteller. Feel free to check out Changeling Stained Glass. That's the Chronicle of Changeling that I run here on McStabber Studios.
It's on YouTube.
Just wrapped up a season. It was quite delightful. You can also find me as one of the storytellers and possible players within the Queen's Gambit Chronicle that we are announcing left, right, and center.
You're going to be a wraith in
And-
there. You're doomed.
Yes, I am. But it's going to be a great bit of doom. And I guess you can also just find me everywhere books are sold.
He's in the books. You open up a book and a Maddox jumps out. Watch out now.
Yeah, now every book is a pop-up book.
Yep. You just didn't know it. And of course, you want to get some studio merch. We have studio merch on our Zazzle store. You got to sign in if you want to get some of the stuff that has bad words on it. In case you didn't notice, we swear a lot around here, and even our merch swears, just so you know. If you want to support the players you see on these streams, bits and donations go to the players, not to the studio. If you want to support the studio, of course, pop over to KoFi. Subscribe here on Twitch. They'll take half, but at least you'll get no ads.
Yeah.
No ads is nice.
Use your Prime subscription if you have Amazon Prime.
Because, it's one thing to ads during a video game. It's another to get ads during a TTRPG stream where you miss part of what's going on because the ad comes in. It kind of sucks. I hate that. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, I know money's tight for a lot of people, and I don't want people to spend money they don't have. If you watch on YouTube, like the video, comment on a video, hit the subscribe. All of that supports the studio by driving up our search rankings in YouTube. Trust me, we don't make much money at this. We'll never make a living doing this, but every little bit helps to offset costs for, the players or the studio itself. Because it's not free to do all this, I'm sorry to say. I wish it was, but it really isn't. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife for the schedule, because we have a schedule.
We do have a schedule. All right. So is Urini still in chat? Y'all doing Call of Cthulhu this weekend? No game this Saturday. Oh, fantastic. This is going to be running at Tabletop Scotland this weekend. So she's going to be busy running games at a con.
I want to go to Scotland for a con.
I know, right? Right?
Helps if you live there already, but I want to go there for a con.
Awesome. Thank you, Urini. Okay. So coming up over the next week, first of all, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. So coming up over the next week, we have Friday. Queen's Gambit kicks off 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to see myself, Junie Von Esch, Maddox, Ravnos Archon, and Shanky, as we do an intro session that has been pre-recorded as characters from Windy City and from Milwaukee now that are coming together from the different splats to set up the story. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern as we kick that off on Friday. And then after that, we start with Vampire, starting next week. Yeah. And I'll be running that, y'all. First time running V5. It's going to be crazy, y'all. But Saturday, there's no stream during the day for Tiss, because Tiss is in Scotland doing Tabletop Scotland Con, running games. Awesome. Awesome. Kick ass, Dr. Tiss. We know you will, because you're so much fun. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, Junie's V5 Chronicle, Chicago Hidden City, starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. That's right. That's right. On days that there's Call of Cthulhu, there's going to be a double feature. That's right. That's right. So that kicks off with set in 2010 during Prince Peterson's rule. Yeah. After Loden fell, but Peterson is currently in charge in Chicago. And you will find myself and Maddox and some other amazing players, Ree and Tara, Glaciate, who has not been on stream yet, but you will see that individual in Queen's Gambit. Mm-hmm. And
John, who's not been on our channel yet.
John, who's not been on our channel yet, who you will also see in Queen's Gambit a little later, but you'll see him first on Saturday in the Vampire Chronicle starting at 8 p.m.
Now, I will say, this is the Junie-verse, not the Shanky-verse. Yes. Junie has her own world, just to put people out there. So Junie's lore building is Junie's lore building. So
she has been given a clean, full rights to use any of our NPCs that she wants, but, it's her world.
Other than your boy Twitch, because if your boy Twitch shows up, it's got to be me.
Oh, I wouldn't have anyone else but you come in for your boy Twitch.
And of course, we will be back here Wednesday at 8 p.m. with the next session of this season of Vampire Dark Ages.
As the camp's been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in the middle of it.
And so help me if Nova Arpad sent people to attack this camp.
Oh, don't worry. It's not Nova Arpad. You finally get to meet Inquisitor Renzo.
Oh, good. We're going to murk a fucking Inquisitor.
Oh, wow. Well, shit, when they gift wrap themselves right in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be that easy.
I'm sure it won't, but it's going to be satisfying.
No, but it will be past my birthday.
So, as always, when we end these streams, everybody, mental health. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take your mental health seriously and the mental health of others seriously. Check in on those around you. Make sure they're okay. A lot of people are not, especially as we start getting into the winter months when there's a tough time for a lot of people who have seasonal affective disorder. So check in on around and make sure they're okay. And if you suffer from mental health issues, like many people do, myself included, I want you to reach out to your support network, those around you. Just talk with them when you need to. But I know that a lot of people feel they can't, or they just don't feel right doing that. So in text, there's a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I want you to do that for sure if you're in crisis. Reach out. There's professionals on those numbers we put in chat that can help you through your time of crisis. And if you're watching this on YouTube or you're not in the U.S., or if you're watching it on YouTube and not in the U.S., you can go to findahelpline.com, put in your country of origin, and find out the helpline and the support in your country. Because mental health is health, everybody, and we want you to be okay. And while it's okay to not be okay, we still hope you can find a path to get better and to deal with the ups and downs of life. And now I can turn it over to my lovely wife as I'm sweating in my damn outfit here in the studio tonight.
You and me both. All right. So yes, please take care of your mental well-being. Prioritize your fucking self-care for real. I know I personally had a really rough mental health day today. It was rough as fuck. And it's because I had not been prioritizing my self-care. Please prioritize your self-care. Please. It is important. Even if you just spend 15 minutes a day doing something just for you to help ground yourself, center yourself in the present, and be aware that things are not always terrible. Please take time to do that. And do take care of your physical well-being as well, because as the mind goes, the body goes, and as the body goes, the mind goes. They work so much in tandem together. I mean, I had such a bad anxiety day today that I was having like heart palpitations and stuff. It was giving me cardiovascular symptoms. So literally, you have to take care of both the body and the mind. Get your damn shots. Okay. Get your damn shots. It's coming up on the flu season for flu shots. Please get your flu shots. Get your damn COVID boosters for real. Also, get checked out when things aren't right. If you're, noticing your body's telling you shit just ain't right, go get it checked out. Go see your damn doctors for real, or whatever your provider is. Please go see them when you need to. Take your meds, drink your water, try to get some sunshine when you can. That helps with the seasonal affective. Try to get as much sunshine as you can. And please take care of yourselves. And also, I'm going to say, make sure you're registered to vote. And if you are already registered, double check your registration status, because there are states purging voter rolls and restricting voter registrations. Please check to make sure your shit is okay. And you really need to be doing this once a week, because for real, in Republican controlled states, this is a fucking problem. It is voter suppression, and they're getting away with it. So please check your shit, because it is so important that everyone can turn out, whether it's by mail-in voting, absentee ballots, early voting, or same day at the polling place. Make sure you turn up to vote this November. It is so fucking important. Blue down the fucking ballot, y'all. Blue down the fucking ballot. The GOP showing us who they are. Project 2025 is their game plan. They are literally doubling down on it while also denying it out the side of their mouth. So literally, they're showing us who they are. And voting third party will work against the Democrats. So please, 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 let's elect Kamala Harris and Governor Walz. Let's elect a fucking Democrat-controlled Congress, both Senate and House, to give them a fucking government that actually works for progress. Please.
And they're already pushing to try to shut the fucking government down in a fucking election year.
Of course they are.
This is why I can't take vacation. I have to hold up my vacation time for government shutdown.
That affects millions when they do that. We live around D.C. Literally, it affects hundreds of thousands of people in the D.C. metro area, but it affects millions of government workers, government contractors, ancillary services that rely on these government contractors and government workers for their income. It affects millions when they shut down the fucking government.
I can't take vacation right now, take time off work, because I have to build up leave for if they shut the government down so I can get paid.
Yeah, because as a contractor, he can't get paid otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please vote blue down the fucking ballot. Please. Thank you.
And I do thank you all for coming. Please enjoy. I hope you enjoy this Dark Ages game, because shit's about to get ugly and we're not done yet. Good night, everybody.